Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours, this is the CRR Podcast. I am your host, Jermaine Lockett, and welcome back. Thanks for coming back to the show, people. For those of you, if this is your first time, you're in for a treat. I mean, we kind of just do things here, we kind of relax. I have notes or whatever because sometimes, I don't remember all this stuff. But let's go ahead and get this show started. So, Brady the Cooks. Sound familiar? That's what's going to be happening this season. Brady Edelman. Y'all remember that combination. Rodgers to Nelson. We all are familiar with that particular duo. Big Ben to Antonio Brown. Matty to Julio. Okay. Beathard to Burbridge. That was a confusing one, right? Well, take a look at the 49ers organization. That may be the direction that they are going in. But hey, look at it. They have nowhere to go but up. In a 2-14 season and two new people at the helm as far as Lynch, the general manager, and Kyle Shanahan, the coach. They may be noobs, but I think they might have their head on straight. And they might be on to something with this Beathard and Burbridge connection. And I'm talking about the boy from Iowa, CJ Beathard. And I'm talking about Aaron Burbridge. He came from Michigan State. Let's start with him. Aaron, he was a possession wide receiver at Michigan State. He came out in 2016, but he was the 2015 Big Ten wide receiver of the year. 49ers might have been on something last year. Not on something, but on to something last year. I think he may have been overlooked, and I'll tell you why. Because media, YouTube, and Combine destroys NFL wide receivers prior to them even getting their chance in the spotlight. And I wouldn't even say YouTube. YouTube actually is the tape itself. Look at the tape itself and see where these guys are making those mistakes. These draft analysts, these media analysts, sometimes they get it wrong, but they get it wrong at the expense of these players. And I'll tell you why. Because this guy got a 4.56 40 time. Laquan Treadwell had a 4.67 40 time. And we see where Treadwell is, all back of the bus in Minnesota. And then you look at this guy, everybody's talking about, he had tiny hands. In fact, there was a quote that I wanted to read here. This is what they said about this gentleman here, who is the Big Ten wide receiver of the year for 2015, according to some bum from RotoWorld. An inconsistent ball catcher without much separation ability, Burbridge deficiencies were exposed at the combine, measuring in the tiny 8-inch hands and running 4.56 with a lowly 30.5-inch vertical. Media guru Matt Harmon has described Burbridge as a catch-and-fall guy who possesses no yak threat. Burbridge he was a good college player whose game and skill set are unlikely to transition to the pros. Man, that's mean. That is just about the meanest thing you could write about somebody who's trying to chase the dream. To say, they had tiny hands. Let me tell you something. Julian Edelman has tiny hands. So tiny that they're not recorded anywhere on the internet. I tried to look up the hand size, and I'm telling you right now, the boy's hands ain't on it, but he made one of the greatest catches in NFL history in a Super Bowl game. So you can take the hands out of that whole piece. Do they have the heart? Do they have the determination? And is the game tape there? The game tape is clearly there, because if there's people over here making YouTube videos out of all these highlights, this guy he has potential. He can do something pretty good here. Sure. The 40 time, it's 4.56, but Treadwell's is still worse. And they hyped him up like he was the man. And Treadwell didn't play but 3 top defenses in the league last year, in college football last year or the year before. And you see what he is now. And some dude that was Adam Thielen clowned him. Whatever. Dude's trash. Anywho, moving over here to the competition in 49erville. You Niners fans, y'all might be all about speed. Please tell me you don't have the Al Davis mentality. But you do have 2 burners there, and Pierre Garçon and Goodwin. Marquise Goodwin. Marquise, who knows? His concentration last year when he was with the Bills was a little bit during the offseason on Olympic trials. The guy was trying to make the Olympics. Came back, he destroyed Darrelle Revis, probably ruined his career with that one catch that he just beasted on. Nice throw from Tyrod Taylor. The dude put it on a rope, and you could see Darrelle knowing, oh man, this is going to be an all-year visiting spot on this island because I have no more speed. Now he takes that speed to San Francisco. That's great and all, but you're going to need somebody on 3rd and 5. Who's going to be that 3rd and 5 guy who's going to get the job done? Who's actually going to get you that first down? Who's going to move those chains? I see this guy as a yard after the catch type of guy from what I saw on the tape. I don't care what this bum from Roto World had to say. Personally, I think this dude can be big for the 49ers. I mean, he is 6 foot even. He probably could eat a little bit more. I think he's like 203. He can get to like 215 and fill out a little bit more. But you don't always have to be the biggest beast and jumping guy out the gym. That vertical, yeah, it was something that hurt him a good bit. But put him in the slot. Let him be the big body guy in the slot. You ain't got to jump high in the slot. All you got to do is run routes and use your body to get position, turn those shoulders, catch that ball. So there's plenty of players out there with small hands, but I believe this guy is going to be the one who gets it done for the 49ers. So on 3rd and 5, who you going to call? You ain't calling Goodwin. You ain't calling Garcon. Let's talk about who's going to throw them the ball on 3rd and 5. This guy, CJ Beathard, out of Iowa. I think he's going to be called the diehard because Beathard just sounds too funny. But anyway, it was no laughing matter on the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft when Shanahan pulled the trigger on this guy. 3rd round, I think Shanahan might have had some interest in this guy. In fact, he had a lot of interest in this guy. He said to Peter King on the Monday Morning Quarterback, he says, he processes the game so well, Shanahan said of Beathard. Said he's tough as got a chance. He reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins. Okay. Wow. He's passionate when he's cursing. So I'm just going to leave that in there as is. I mean, some Niner fans, you guys are still dreaming. Still dreaming about Kirk Cousins coming over. You're still fantasizing about what could have happened if Cap had stayed. I'm telling you to get out of that mindset and move forward as an organization because nobody needs to sit around and talk about Kaepernick and what he had or what he could have been or what he does off of the field. I don't care. I'm moving forward. And hopefully the 49ers are too. So, I mean, I think the guy has good ball skills. I think he's got great touch on the ball. He's good with play action. He's ran the pro-style offense before in college. He needs to work on being able to challenge the safeties. But other than that, I see a talented quarterback who can beat out 2 bums in Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley, who both are pretty much lifetime backups. They're going to be lifetime backups from this point out. I don't see a starter in San Francisco outside of CJ Beathard. I'm telling you right now, they can't go wrong with this guy because they can't go worse than 2-14. I mean, they can, but honestly, this guy is not going to get you 2-14. They put enough pieces around in this organization as far as defense and offense. They have Carlos Hyde there still. Hopefully he stays healthy. You go ahead and put this guy in there with Aaron Burbridge. Make it the Beathard to Burbridge connection. B&B, y'all heard it here first at the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours. This is the CRR Report Podcast. This is Jermaine Lockett. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you see any social media out there, we're pretty much likely on it. Hit us up. If you want to join my team, let me know. Send me your resume. Send me just an invite on Facebook and we can talk it up. I'm just looking for people who believe in what we believe. Have a great night.